Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Lis Inayah and I'm from class 4B. In this video, I would like to present my final project for the learning planning on ELT courses. The title of my project is Curriculum Analysis and Learning Planning for Grade 7 English Learning in the Merdeka Curriculum. This project focuses on analyzing the English curriculum for PSG and transforming the curriculum requirement into a practical learning plan that can be implemented in the classroom. In this presentation, I will explain the project overview, the instructional design and ideas, some important components of the learning plan, and my reflection after complementing this project. This project began with curriculum analysis. First, I analyzed the learning outcome or capaian pembelajaran for English in PSD of the Merdeka Curriculum. The purpose of this analysis was to understand what students are expected to achieve at the end of the learning phase. After analyzing the learning outcomes, I developed several learning objectives that are specific and measurable for grade 7 students. These objectives were then organized into an ATP or learning objective sequence, which function as the syllabus for the learning process. Finally, based on the ATP, I designed a lesson plan or module ajar that includes learning activities, learning media, and assessment strategies. Through this process, curriculum expectations can be transformed into meaningful classroom learning experience. I selected grade 7 because it represents an important transition period from elementary school to junior high school. Students enter grade 7 with different English learning experience. Some students may have attended English courses outside school, while others may have very limited exposure to English. Because of these differences, teachers need to design learning experience that support students with various levels of proficiency. In addition, grade 7 is often the stage where students begin to build their confidence in using English for communication. Therefore, the learning plan focuses not only on language knowledge but also on creating a supportive environment where students can actively participate and express themselves using English. The instructional design of this lesson plan is based on the genre-based approach. This approach was selected because it provides clear scaffolding for students through the learning process. Students do not immediately produce a text independently. Instead, they move through several stages. The first stage is building knowledge of the field, where students develop background knowledge and learn important vocabulary. The second stage is modeling of the text, where students examine examples of descriptive text and identify their structure and language features. The third stage is joint construction of the text, where students work collaboratively with their classmates to construct a text. Finally, students reach an independent construction of the text stage, where they create their own text independently. For the lesson topic, I select my idol because it is familiar and relevant for grade 7 students. By discussing people they admire, students are more motivated to participate in classroom activities and express their ideas. Based on the curriculum analysis, several learning objectives were developed for grade 7 students. Students are expected to identify information from spoken and written text, describing people using appropriate vocabulary and grammar, understand and apply simple instruction, and create short text independently. These objectives are then organized into a learning sequence through the ATP. The learning progression begins with self-introduction and hobbies, continues with descriptive text about idle and school environment, and later develops into procedure and instructional text. This sequence allows students to gradually build their language skills from simple communication toward more complex language use. To support these students' learning, the lesson plans includes a variety of activities that encourage active participation. Students engage in brainstorming activities, pair work, guided writing, independent writing, and gallery work activity. During the gallery work, students have the opportunity to read their classmates' work and provide feedback using tools, start, and with technique. Assessment is also conducted through the learning process. Diagnostic assessment is used before learning to identify students' initial abilities. Formative assessment takes place during learning through teacher observation, peer feedback, and classroom participation. At the end of the lesson, summative assessment is conducted through students' reading and speaking performance. This assessment design help teachers monitor learning progress while also providing opportunities for students to improve continuously. Through this project, I learned that learning planning involves much more than preparing classroom activities. Teacher must ensure that learning objective, classroom activities, learning materials, and assessment are all connected or aligned with one another. I also realized that students have different learning needs and backgrounds. Because of this, students need to provide appropriate support and learning opportunities so that various students can participate successfully. Another important lesson that I learned is the value of meaningful and contextual learning. When learning activities are conducted to students' interests and experience, students become more motivated and engaged in the learning process. Overall, this project helped me better understand how curriculum document can be transformed into practical classroom instruction and strengthened my understand my future role as an English teacher. Thank you for watching my presentation and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.